Hi everyone, and welcome to the Game Breakdown podcast, the podcast where we break down lots of different games. And happy Valentine's Day today.
Happy Valentine's Day.
How have you spent your Valentine's
Day?
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't get any chocolates.
Wow, slacking.
I know. I got two
Well,
cards, so I can't. That sounds bad. I've not got two cards from two separate people.
I was going to say, wait a minute, who sent you another card?
I got a card from the other half and a card from the cats. So I don't know if anyone else does this, but like you get cards and stuff from your cats or your dogs or your pets.
I mean, my mum and dad used to give me birthday and Christmas cards from the dog, but I don't know about a Valentine's Day card, but cute nonetheless.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
I'm single, so I got nothing. So I woke up to like update iCloud phone storage rather than like any like cute texts in the morning. So.
You need to pay us £2, bitch.
Yeah, literally.
Fuck off. Oh, bless
I
you.
gotta treat myself for Valentine's Day and pay the money. But then what will I have to wake me up to on Valentine's Day next year?
That's the thing. You gotta spend your money on something. It's fine.
I have indeed. So today is Valentine's Day, obviously, and we were supposed to be talking about Last of Us 2 Part 2 today, but again, don't listen to anything we say.
I wonder if there's someone out there with a little notebook like, GG Breakdown lied again, episode 18.
Like these bitches.
We just,
So we're not talking about it today, purely because I haven't finished it yet. And it's not like I've been slacking. I've actually been grinding, and I think you can attest to this because I've been telling you where I've been getting up to every day.
Yeah, you messaged me and you were like, I feel like I'm a really good way through, but it does feel quite long. And then you told me and I was like, you're like not even halfway. I was like, you have still got a very long way to go. So, but it is a very long game. So I did say to you, it's one of those games you have to play and not be doing anything else for a while, because if you play it like a normal person, like fitting it around like an hour or 2 hours a day, it's going to last you like a long time. So
yeah, it's a thick game.
Game.
I thought, I mean, just to give you a round of an idea of where everyone who listens, and enjoys knows where I'm up to. So I've played, I think I'm at the halfway point now. Would you say I'm at the halfway point? It feels like a halfway point kind of moment.
Remind us where you are.
Okay, so I've now got to the bit, and I won't say anything that's happened in the game yet. I'll just say where I am. So I'm at the theatre, and I've now jumped to playing as Abby, and I've played a bit of her story, and I'm now playing as her with her crew. Oh, you're not even going to say halfway, are you? You're going to say like I'm 10 minutes in. Like, what the fuck? This game is too fucking long.
I mean, you're far. Like you're making good progress, but I can't remember if that was.
I don't
think that's I think that's kind of almost halfway, but not really. Like,
are you being serious?
Yeah, I don't want to say anything in case you're not at the point where. In case you are at the point. No, in case you're not.
Okay, so I've played as Abby. I've seen her dad do all this crazy shit. I've seen her try and save a zebra. They then went back, and then I've seen all the murder scenes. I know why Abby hates everybody. I'm now playing as Abby, living her life in their base, and we've just gone out on our first trip, and the scars have attacked us, and we've gone into this like metal tin.
You are I would say just under halfway.
Under. Yeah,
because there'll be like a turning point, and you'll be like, okay. Do you know what, this game it does go on for a bit, but yeah, no, you're not quite halfway.
Have I got it in me to actually finish this game? I thought I was halfway. I've been playing for hours.
It's a long game, all right. I don't know. I mean, you could maybe my time scales are wrong, but I don't remember that being that far into the game, considering like what happens. Like I said to you, like you'll know when you're kind of at like a heavy point in the game, like a halfway point, because of what happens. So
okay, so I'm going to ask you one question and that you can answer with a yes or no answer. So is there more interesting things that happen in the story that I will be like, oh my god, I never saw that coming? Because I feel like I know most of the story, and that feels like a problem to me. If it's going to carry on at this length with not much change to the story that's actually important, it's a bit like
I mean, there's not any particular like huge sort of mind-blowing moments like Joel's moment.
Okay.
But there's still some like, there's still some kind of, that's
still some tea to sip.
So I was going to say I just want you to finish it, but clearly like it's going to take a while, so yeah.
Okay, so there's still some tea to sip on what happens.
Just take your time, it's fine.
Okay, we will. I will say, on the record, like off the record, I am enjoying it. It is really good, but my steam is running out a little bit, which I think is I need something exciting to happen to keep me playing. Otherwise, I think if I wasn't doing it for this podcast, I may have dropped off a little bit and then come back to it maybe like weeks later. But yeah, it's interesting. The character development's interesting. We'll get there when we talk about it properly, when I actually finish it. But
we'll get there.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Right, okay, so talking of Last of Us, there was some news over the week that they have actually cast Joel and Ellie for the first... Is it the film or the series?
The series.
It's the series for HBO, isn't it?
Yes.
So the two people they have cast... Now, I'm just going to get their names up so I can actually quote them properly. But they have... Where is it?
Okay, so it's Pedro Pascal.
There you go. I was going to say Pedro Pascal, but I didn't want to say it in case I was wrong. So it's Pedro Pascal, and what's the girl's name, the little girl's name?
Bella Ramsey.
Bella Ramsey, there you go. Right, these two actors, you don't really know them, do you?
Well, I do. I don't know Bella Ramsey, but I know Pedro Pascal from Mandalorian. Because Mandalorian's really, really good. Loved it. Have you seen Mandalorian?
I haven't got into Mandalorian yet, but it's on my list.
Yeah, good. I like him for it. I'll put that out there.
I think Pedro Pascal's a great actor. He's also in Game of Thrones. So, but Bella Ramsey is a Game of Thrones actress. She plays the little girl who I know you've never seen it before, but she like runs. She's basically a child that runs like a whole kingdom. Like she's like a little queen.
That sounds like it could be Ellie. So
it does. That's why I think she's actually quite a good match. She's like this tiny little base. She's not like a queen, but she's like she's in charge of like a little nation, if you like, and she's very much like in a room with 30 grown men discussing battle tactics, and she's like, my men will fight for the north. Like,
oh my god, she's proper Northern.
Yeah, she's proper serious, and it's like it's really funny. So I feel like she might do a good job as young Ellie. I feel like if they were to do a second bit where Ellie's a bit older, I feel like Maisie Williams would have been a good shout, who is Arya Stark in Game of Thrones.
I feel like I could have sworn I'd seen people kind of pitching her as it before. I've never seen them in action, but I'll take your word for it. I mean, visually, I think they kind of fit the role, like both of them would.
Yeah.
It would be. I do hope they kind of bring out an older one, but I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I just don't want to base anything like this off of like the Resident Evil films. Like that's all you think of when you think of a live action game series, you know. And like they're doing it for. They're doing like Uncharted as well, aren't they? And they're all coming out.
Tom Holland's in that, isn't he? I know. Big actors. Well, that's the problem. The thing is, this could be a turning point where we actually see, we spoke about it before, a decent game adaptation onto the big screen, or at least onto the silver screen or something, because there's not really been... look, we enjoy game films because they're like cheesy and tragic, but they actually are quite crap. Like the Resident Evil films were quite crap. They don't actually match the games at all. The Tomb Raider films I really like and I love them, but they are very cheesy and don't completely match what's going on. If you know, it doesn't follow any of the story. You know, there's like Super Mario films don't match. Mortal Kombat films are just as tragic. Like they're all rubbish, but we like them because we're gamers. If you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's weird because when you like when you read a book and you see a film, like you can normally kind of, the book will always naturally kind of be better, but you can sort of see where they've gone with it. But when it's been a game that's been a film, like they often are never like the games in any way, shape or form. So I do hope, like you said, they'll do it. But the characters they've brought out for these are really good, like actors and actresses. So there's no reason why it shouldn't be good. No. So yeah. The
only reason it won't be good is if they do what we've just said and they fuck with the story. If they've got pure talent, really it can't go wrong, can it? The only thing they can go wrong is by what they'll do is start changing the country they're in and changing the thing they do and changing their names ever so slightly and giving them a different backstory and like basically distancing it as far as you can. Like Resident Evil did. Like completely changed all the characters.
Jill became like this pathetic person that got in the way. It was
all
to
she was like a side character.
Yeah, it was literally all to push forward I'm sorry, but like I've forgotten her name, but the main actress,
Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, that's all it was. It was to put her in the limelight, wasn't it?
Yeah, and she's doing Monster Hunter now. Have you heard about that? I've not even. It might be out already. I'm not a big fan of the Monster Hunter series. I've never played them, but I know they're very well critically acclaimed games. She's obviously going to fuck that up as well. And the thing is, I love Mila Jovovich. Like she's in like The Fifth Element and Aeon Flux.
She's not a bad actress. I think
a great
people
actress.
write her in like the worst way. Like I don't know. They need to realize that it's not just like reciting a book, you know. It's like people already have built emotions and connections to these games. You can't just expect people to like it just because everything resembles the same kind of name or like whatever.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed they do us some justice. I've played like Monster Hunter briefly. It weren't my kind of game. Like on paper, like it was totally my kind of game, but then it got to it and I kind of thought like, this is a time warp and I ain't got time for it. You know, it's like, yeah. But then there's you playing Last of Us that I love, and yet like that is a fucking time warp. So
like, this is a time warp and I don't know the dance, so we can't do this.
Let's not time warp again.
Let's not time warp again. Yeah, completely right. So I just hope that they do it right, because, you know, I'm not as big a Last of Us fan as you are, but I feel like Last of Us is your Resident Evil. Like, it's your baby. So when you see it being tortured on screen, it's like, oh, sick, thanks.
I can't wait to watch it. I'm gonna really try and go in with like fresh eyes and say, look, like it's never gonna be the game, you know, like they're never gonna kind of capture it, because like everyone has a different experience when it comes to games, but I just hope that it's good. But then there was The Witcher, and The Witcher was brilliant. I know they were originally books that were then games that then had a series, but The Witcher was really good. Like, loved that.
The Witcher was very good. I really enjoyed the Witcher series. And see, the thing is, but that's a different thing. I really enjoyed that, and I haven't played the games. So I wonder if I'll play the games and be like, oh, the series was really crap. Or like, you know, I might not tie them together, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I've not heard anyone say anything negative, and I've known a few people that have played it. Obviously, I've played Witcher. I've never finished it, but I have played it, and I don't know how closely it follows, because I guess I don't know the game that well. Like, I've just kind of started it and stopped it a few times because it's a pretty big game. So yeah, maybe that is a contributing factor for both of us, but we shall see.
We shall see. I'm very excited. No, they're both good actors. Actores. They're both good actores, and they've got a solid story. They can't mess it up. We've said that before. But let's hope these like new reboots will be something that's like good. So like, because there was the Last of Us film in the works as well, wasn't there? And then HBO series got involved. So like, they could be. But either way, there's a new Last of Us series coming out with these two actors. We're looking forward to it. There's a new Resident Evil film coming out that's being rebooted with closer to the games. There's a lot happening. So hopefully we have some good shit to watch soon.
Yeah, and I think the things that I'm looking forward to most about these games is, like I've said to you before, that I kind of see, even though Last of Us and Resident Evil are two different kind of games, they still kind of share this sort of vibe, I guess. And like, I can't wait to see the creatures like recreated in real time. I think that would just be awesome. Like to see clickers and like hunters and things like that from Resi, like that would be really cool. Yeah.
And one thing I wanted to say at the end, no cheap CGI, because they give these big budgets, and yet they put the most cheesiest cheap CGI, and I'm like, you just make everything look shit. Like, you've ruined it. So,
and you could do so much now with CGI. Like,
literally, you can go on like Fiverr and get someone to do part of your film for you, and it will be decent. Like,
but yeah, like we've got the ability now to make things look absolutely fantastic. So yeah, they shouldn't let us down in that front, and people are ready for it. Like, they can afford to put a budget in for something like that, because people will pay to see it, you know.
Exactly, definitely. So yeah, very much looking forward to it, and can't wait. Very excited. So, like we said at the beginning, today is Valentine's Day.
It is.
And it's also someone's birthday. Do you know whose birthday it is?
No, whose birthday is it?
His birthday it's mine, thanks for my present. No.
Okay.
So it is, the 14th of February is Lara Croft's birthday.
It just would be, wouldn't it?
It
just
would
be that gal's birthday.
My first love of gaming, Lara Croft. It's her B-day. Didn't get her a present, sorry, hon.
How old is Lara Croft these days?
Well, here's the thing. So the games are 25 years old.
Have you been doing some maths?
Been doing some maths. I've been doing some real quick maths. And the games are 25 years old, but I don't know how old she is supposed to be in the first game. And then if we add on 25 years to that...
So she's probably like 80.
Yeah, she's probably like dead by now.
She's fucking good.
I reckon she's probably, if you're counting her age properly, she's probably meant to be about 50. Because I'm guessing she's like... I think she's like 21 in the first game, I think, because she's just come out of uni. I think she comes out of boarding school, and then her dad pays for her to go on this like expedition. It's like some whole random backstory.
Right, how old did you think she was?
About 50? Maybe 40.
Right. So this makes no sense. So
does it say 25?
No, apparently she's 21 in the Lara Croft reboot. Okay, no, ignore me. I was like, how is she? Because it said, right, okay, I know no one can see this, but on this page at the top it says 21, and then it says when she was born in 1992, and I'm like, okay, like I'm definitely not 21 anymore. Like, let's be real.
So she's like she's our age. Like she's old. She's old. Like she's younger than us.
Oh no, yeah, she
she's
will
born
be
in
our age. She was born in 14th February 1992. So.
Oh, so she is us.
So she's
almost 30.
So she should still be in Tombs and doing some shit. Like.
I love how none of these dates match up at all, because really she was like 21 in the first game or something, but she's born in 1992. So was the first game set in the future? Was the first game set in today's world?
Does Google know maths?
Does
like,
Google know
it's
maths?
literally like Tomb Raider / age 25 years. I'm like, no, it's not.
Oh my god, Google needs to do some real quick math.
Maybe she like got cursed or something. I don't know.
Maybe. Either way,
Day.
happy
Almost.
birthday, hun.
Happy birthday, babes.
Happy birthday, babes. Hope you had a good day.
Brilliant. So, okay. Speaking of Lara, shall we talk about some other attractive characters that we think have existed over the years?
Well, why not? It is Valentine's Day, I suppose. We could talk about some gaming characters that captured our hearts.
Some thirsty pixel people.
Some thirsty pics. I will say, also, just before we move off of Tomb Raider completely, I have recently been watching a lot of Tomb Raider content and like really missing the old games. And I really want to. I have, like, badly, and I think I've been telling everyone about this. I really want to replay them from the beginning.
I got like a 5-minute voice note of you, like, so I've just been watching all this Tomb Raider content and I just really want to play all the games and I think we should do it. Should we just play them all? Should we just go for it? Like, I've got some time. And I was like, okay.
Fucking expose me like this.
I know. But you love it. You love it. And I think
I do.
I think, yeah.
I do really enjoy them.
Just like
loads of reviews, loads of like gameplay footage, loads of like hidden Easter eggs and secrets videos, like all that shit.
Do it.
I really would like to. But then I've got them on my emulator. So I played a bit of Tomb Raider 3 because it was the only one I had. I couldn't get the other ones to work. And then suddenly last night I got 1 and 2 to work. So I was playing a bit of Tomb Raider 1. And I played a bit of Tomb Raider 1. But playing Tomb Raider 3 back, right? The graphics don't look as good as I remember them, but it's only because I think I'm playing it on the emulator. I think if I had my actual PS1 out of the loft, it'd look a little bit better. But they're really hard games. Like, there is no guidance. I mean, I know it's PS1, but I will say these kind of things, Tomb Raider 1, I believe, was in development at the same time as Metal Gear Solid 1. So come on now. Like, you know, if you can produce a game like MGS1, there could have been a little bit more in Tomb Raider 3, which was like 2 years later. But there's like no guidance whatsoever. And like there's a lot of like bugs and glitches because I was watching some footage recently and there's like a cutscene that plays and then Lara says something and I was like, I never remember her speaking in this. And it turns out the Some Edition didn't have some of the voice acting in the game because of reasons.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's like a mixture of things. Obviously, back then, like, it was the developers that were playing the game and testing their work. Like, there wasn't dedicated QA, so I think, you know, as much as QA gets some stick and everyone thinks, oh, you just play games for a living, like, we actually do like quite important work to make sure that not only do stories flow, but like, you know, it's possible to play and there's no bugs. So when you think back, like, I think that's like a major like contributing factor as to why games are like a lot more difficult and there isn't no guidance at all. Like we said in previous podcasts, how I think it was games that we wish were remade or something. It might have been that one or our favourite games or got us into gaming, and we just don't understand how we actually completed them back in the day. Like without the internet, because the internet wasn't really that much of a thing,
especially in the 90s.
You'd never would have really gone on there and I don't know, gone on to like AOL and searched like, how do I get out of this cave as fucking Lara Croft?
And got to Stella's Tomb Raider guide.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but we've all visited Stella's Tomb Raider guide. Like, whoever Stella is, thanks, mate. Like, you've been doing the Lord's work out there because it's been going for like 30 years, this website.
Okay, so there is like dedicated people that have done it, and that's why we have it now. But back then, I mean, I never would have thought to do stuff. You kind of just walked away from it, realised, you know, like, I'm not going to figure it out, and then you come back to it and do it. And that would just kind of be the process, wouldn't it? Games would last a while, like.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was all about like having official hint magazines and like cheat guides and walkthroughs and stuff that you'd actually buy, like actual magazines.
Magazines were always so good, and you get like demo discs.
Oh, we love the demo. One day we have to do an episode. We just go through all the demo disc games.
I'm so up for that.
That would be such a good one.
If you can buy them, you probably can, but they cost a fortune. I bet.
I've got a few. When I moved out of my parents' house, I found quite a few of them, like in boxes and shit. So we should definitely get those up.
I can feel like a thing coming on. Yes,
something is happening.
Demo podcast.
Can feel it in me waters. But yeah, definitely. There's no guidance whatsoever. And I was playing through it, and I thought, and I got stuck. And there was a bit where I was like, "What? Where the hell do I go?" And I actually googled it, and I thought, I remember getting further than this when I was like 7. I remember actually completing this game. I don't know. Maybe my brain was in a different state back then because that was how games were. But I saw an interview with the guy from Core Design, who actually was like one of the founding people who created Lara, and he was talking about how it was brand new then. He was like, the thing is, like, a character walking through a door and a character walking down the road or walking 10 steps is like so common now and so easy to do, and you do it without even thinking about it when designing a game. But that was what was brand new, the 3D environment. He's like, so things were so difficult, and it does make sense of why it was so bad, and so like in certain ways.
You didn't know how to lead a player. Like, the design of a game was totally different. Like, now there's subtle things. Like, there might just be a little light in the corner that you don't even notice, but really it's leading you somewhere, you know, or like a little less kind of grass or something. Whereas back then, everything was pretty much the same. It might there'd just be a random empty, like, block, and you just go through it. Like, so design was totally different then.
Totally different. And there's something to be said about that. It could be that, you know, it's more of let's say like a precursor to open world kind of thing, where like you can explore at your own rate and think, oh, I've gone the wrong way, I have to go back and find something else, which is quite cool. But playing it now is like, it's a bit of a headache, but they're still fantastic games, all of them. I love the PS2 like years of them, like Tomb Raider Legends, Tomb Raider Underworld, that kind of stuff. That was like, that was sick. I think it was Underworld 2 or PS2 or PS3. Either way, Underworld, Legend, Anniversary were really good games. And the modern ones, I really like them. I do like them. But my problem is like, when a game sees a mechanic used in other games and then starts to use them in their games, you then feel like you're playing the same games. Like, I feel like the new Tomb Raider was based heavily on like Last of Us and Resident Evil.
I was going to say, yeah, the Shadow of the Tomb Raider or something it was called, the newest one.
There was one was called just Tomb Raider, I think. The one was called Shadow of the Tomb Raider. One was the Fall of Tomb Raider or something. I can't remember, the Fall of something. Either way,
yeah,
it's like,
you can see the similarities. I think it's hard to reinvent the wheel, I guess, with games. There's, especially for those kind of games, like, it's like Uncharted. Sorry to put them in the same category, but they basically are like essentially like two of the same people, aren't they? Really?
Yeah, they are. Well,
so
but that's the thing, though.
Yeah.
It, like, Tomb Raider is now a rip-off of Uncharted, which is hilarious because Uncharted is a rip-off of Tomb Raider. It's like they've gone, like, they're stealing from each other, but you feel like you're playing the same game, and then you don't get the variety. Like, having Tomb Raider being able to craft and use a bow and arrow and shiv stuff together, it makes sense in Last of Us because it's like a derelict world where you've got nothing with you. But for Tomb Raider, it shouldn't, because she's like a fucking rich British aristocrat. Like, do you know what I mean? Who's got all this money? Like, she should go in. It just didn't make sense to me, but hey.
The last Tomb Raider game that came out was in 2018.
Yeah, is that the Fall of the Tomb Raider or
Shadow of the Tomb Raider?
Shadow of Tomb Raider. What's the other one's called? Do you know? Have you got it up? I'm trying to think.
Right. Tomb Raider games.
Why is the Fall of Tomb Raider in my head? I might have made that up, but it just.
Loving that game.
I'm loving that game. If someone make it.
Right, are they going to do this in the order? No, they're definitely not going to do this in order. So we've got Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider 2, 3, Tomb Raider The Last
Revelation. Chronicles.
Yeah.
And then my PS1 Tomb Raiders. Been watching a lot of content.
Tomb Raider Chronicles, Tomb Raider Curse of the Sword. That's an unusual name for a Tomb Raider.
I've never heard of that one. Is that a Game Boy game or something?
Yeah, Game Boy Color. Oof.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I want to play that.
Yeah, those are the days, Game Boy Color.
Tomb Raider The Prophecy, Tomb Raider The Angel of
Oh,
Darkness.
God, The Angel of Darkness.
Yes.
One day we'll talk about that mess.
We'll talk about sip your drink.
Sip my drink.
Tomb Raider Legend, Anniversary, Underworld. That Lara Croft and the Guardian game, which was just like a top-down kind of
Do you remember when we played that together?
Yeah. Why can't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that
find the
memory.
Fall of
Yes.
Tomb Raider on here?
Maybe I made it up.
I think you did. So what are you calling it?
The Fall of Tomb Raider. I don't know why I said that.
Maybe that's the next game to come out because she's fucking gone.
There's been
Rise
2
and Fall.
Oh, there you go. Rise and Fall of Tomb Raider. Oh no, but is that just
Wait,
someone
no,
saying
that's
the
just
Rise
a
and
fucking
Fall?
video.
That's the name of the article.
Oh my god.
Maybe it was the Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, just Rise of the Tomb Raider.
There you go. I don't know why I said Fall.
I said Tomb Raider way too many times now. I don't even know
Yeah,
what that
a
is.
lot of Tomb Raider. But yeah, the new games are just very, very different. They're very good, but either way. But yeah, one day we should talk about the Angel of Darkness because that game, I was so excited for that game. And oh my god. No, I think I ended up giving it to GameStation back in the day as like a pre-owned game. I gave it back. I was like, you can take this. You can take this. I don't want it.
Take it and get out.
Take it and get out.
I think we should replay it then just to kind of refresh ourselves on that.
We should.
Interesting one.
Definitely.
We'll probably go back and be like, this game was so ahead of its time.
This game was brilliant. We love it. So yeah, but actually, then saying that, Tomb Raider is one of my first crushes. There you go. That's where we're. See, it had a purpose. Me talking about
and
it.
now we're back to the topic at
I
hand.
know.
Yeah, you did. You had a fan. You had a fan. You loved it.
I had
were
a fan. I do love her. Polygon tits and everything.
Polygon tatters. Okay, so she was on my list as well. I made a list. Mm-hmm.
You made a list.
Mm-hmm.
You've penned a list.
Did you not make a list for this?
Mentally, I didn't write one down, but maybe that's my problem.
You've got a bigger brain than me, so that works.
Big brain energy.
Big brain. Second of all, and it's so typical, but like I put Meryl, and like that's not because.
Oh.
Yeah, did you know what it was though? Like, it's not because I like fancied her or anything. I felt responsible for
Perish
Meryl.
the thought.
Perish the thought. But yeah, I felt responsible for Meryl, and I used to get really sad every time that I killed her in Metal Gear Solid 1. So
sounds like it happened a lot.
Yeah. I actually never got her to survive. I don't know what I was doing as a kid. Like, I mean, it's obviously, first of all, it's an absolute like miracle that I even finished it.
Yeah, that's a hard game.
That anyone finished her at that age. But yeah, never saved her.
Oh, see, I did. I saved her. I think, but the only difference in saving her in Metal Gear is the torture chamber is surviving the torture. It's one of the two. If you lose the torture, Otacon survives with you. If you win the torture, she survives with you. But that's the only key moment that's involved in it.
That's still interesting though. Like to have basically two endings.
Yeah, it is really good.
I just remember her bleeding out with like sniper wolf there, and I was just like always young, like, oh, she looks at so much pain. I'm sorry.
Do you remember you take every step you actually get another bullet through her, and you're like, oh no.
Sorry, Meryl.
Sorry, Meryl.
Yeah, it was an intense scene.
Oh my god. Well, I did enjoy Meryl. I get what you mean.
I enjoyed her.
I enjoyed her. I enjoyed her time when she was alive. She had like. I did feel responsible for her. Like I get what you mean. I didn't necessarily think she wasn't my childhood crush. Like I didn't look at her and be like, "Wow, those pixels are really doing it for me." It was just like.
What do you reckon it was about Meryl's pixels and Lara Croft's pixels? Like, what do you think was the difference? Because there's not a lot of difference when it comes to a pixel.
I mean, Lara Croft had two very pointy pixels that are a little bit different.
Pixels than Meryl's. Yeah,
she had some pointier pixels that my childhood brain was probably more attracted to, shall we say. I veered towards more of Lara's direction. And Lara's British, innit?
Yeah. Well, she's a bit more like that. Now in the kitchen.
Sorry about the boxes. We're having movers come in. I want that as my text tone. Every time I get a text,
Same. It's better than fucking Meryl dying, isn't it? So let's.
I know.
One.
Saying that my current text tone is the Metal Gear Solid noise. It's the I can't
alert
even do
noise.
it. The alert noise.
Yeah.
I used to have the Ryu Hadouken noise, but I've gone back to
My phone's on silent because I'm an ignorant cow. So.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh my god, I love it.
I'm gonna go for, and maybe you'll agree with me, but I'm gonna go with Ada Wong.
Oh. Which Ada Wong? Oh wait, not a question for you, really, is it?
Ada Wong in the Resi 2 remake. That's all I'm gonna.
Of
we'll
course.
Go with Ada 2.
We'll go with that one. Yeah. Ada 2 remake. Ada 2 the remix. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see that. I like Ada Wong. I think she's quite fit. I think she's got like a good... This sounds so weird. She's a
I know.
cartoon.
Not neither of us really like are into like characters this way.
No, it's weird. I mean, like, and actually, modern day is probably the reason to be into them more because they're mocap. They're actual people.
Yeah, they're actual people, which opens up a new can of worms, really, because there's some questionable stalking that goes on because these people are real. So people
I
tend
didn't
to
even
like
think about that.
follow them more, or well, I mean, okay, so Dina from Last of Us.
Yeah.
She is
Dina. Fuck you, Dina.
Fuck you, Dina.
I kept saying that out loud the whole way through.
Why do we keep doing this? We start something. I'm sure people do this. You start something and you can't stop.
Yeah.
But Zaina, she
Pringles.
was played by, her character model is based off a girl called, I think she's called Casina. I can't pronounce her name.
Christina and Dina.
Christina.
Nina and Tina.
I'll have to double check it. She's a really nice girl. Like, she's got a YouTube channel. And it came up because she'd put saying Dina plays Last of Us. And I was like, oh, that's the, And her channel originally was literally just like, even now it's moved on from that. And like, she'll just do videos about, just blogs and things like that. She's trying to be an actress and everything like that. So it's just a bit about her life. And I thought, yeah, she's quite funny, like, as a person.
Yeah.
But even now you get people that like call her Dina and things like that. And you just think to yourself, like, there's people out there that can't separate the two, And she weren't even the actress for it. She was just the character model. So it does open some questionable doors when people are based off, like, But saying that, I would love to be in a game. Like, I'd be a character model. I'd be like, yes,
100%. A drop of a hat. For free, I'd even do it. I'm like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, well, the funny thing was,
Yeah.
she was saying that, like, her boyfriend didn't even know that she was in the game as like the character for it. Like, apparently her agent had just sent these pictures off. The Naughty Dog had looked at it and thought, yep, we want her as the character model, and that was it. And she had gone to the studio for like a day to get some photos done, and that was it. And then she waited however many years. The game came out, she was in it. She didn't even know that she was going to be Ellie's girlfriend. Like,
she's literally the face model. So she had no acting involved. Oh my god.
Yeah, she had absolutely no voice, no voice in it and all that stuff. Like, yeah, so.
Oh, that's crazy.
Really cool. And then there's obviously Abby's model, who completely erased herself from social media for a while, which I think was a smart move. And she was originally... I'm like, these people stalk people, and here I am, like, and originally, so this girl...
And you're the one that's like... And in 2004, guess what she was doing?
I know. In my
3
defence,
PM.
Dina came up on YouTube, like,
Okay.
Dina.
Dina.
And Abby was in one of Dina's videos. They did like a little kind of Q&A situation, and
Right.
Abby was originally, her character model was originally a quality assurance person, QA, game tester, and then turned into an artist. And then one of the people looked at her and was like, do you fancy being in the game? And she was like, yeah.
Wait, so Abby is a QA turned... Is that what you meant? Sorry.
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was quite a cool fact, to be fair.
So has she like completely removed herself from social media still?
She's back on it now, but I think it was the wise choice, because like Abby's actress got death threats.
I can imagine, yeah.
The entire company got like death threats and all this stuff. So I think she made the right choice, because visually looking like someone is a lot worse than even if you don't do anything. It's like people just treat things very real, don't they?
This is the problem with Twitter. Jesus.
Yeah, it's true. People have a more direct contact now, don't they, with anyone, so it can go south very, very quickly, which is just unfortunate. And if anyone out there were like having a go at these actors, just think like they're doing it to like as entertainment, like they're not real, like.
And
don't
also get a
too
fucking
caught.
life.
Yeah,
Like,
get
leave
a
these people
fucking-
alone.
And I'm like
Get a
trying to be
fucking
nice, but it's fucking true. Sort it out.
No, get a fucking life. That's just
Cool.
it. Full stop. Stop being a dick. Jesus.
Yeah, it's true.
Wow.
So, yeah. On that note, yeah, Ada Wong. So
Ada. That whole bit about Ada. Yeah, okay. Ada. Yes. No. Ada is. See, when I first met Ada Wong, she was. she like didn't have a face. Like
I love
she has
how you talk about these people like you've actually met them. So when I first met Ada, she didn't have a face, which is a bit disconcerting. But
I'd torn it off because I was obsessed. When I first came across Ada Wong back in the 90s, she literally was like, she had less of, I want to say she had less of a face than Tomb Raider. Like I think of Ada Wong and I can't even picture her eyes. Like at least Tomb Raider had eyes, like really bad. And then when you got to Tomb Raider 4, I think is when they actually gave her like a proper face. But the remake Ada, yeah, I'd agree with you. She's hot.
Mm. Yeah, I can't imagine Ada like back in the day. Like
she was a good set of cubes. There's not really much more I can say. She was a good set of cubes. Bless her, little Ada. Little Ada. Well, on the Resident Evil hype train, then I've got two for you there. So my two, I have to say, obviously, I've got to say, Jill Valentine, and I suppose Happy Valentine's Day to Jill Valentine too. It's kind of her day. So Jill Valentine massively, but not so much. I mean, I played Jill a lot in the first game because I thought she was quite cool and had like a cool story. But RE3 was when like I was like, oh, Jill, hello. Sounds so weird, doesn't it?
I should probably say the reason that we've kind of got on this topic is because we'd both seen an article not too long ago about like games' hottest characters, and I was like, that would be a really fun thing to go through. Mm-hmm. So here we are. We're not just like thirsting over characters for no reason. Like
thirsting over pixels. That should be what this episode's called. Thirsting over pixels.
Jill.
But yeah, Jill. Because in RE3 they like put her in this really weird costume. Like, is it RE1 she was dressed up in like a police uniform, and RE3 she for some reason escaped a zombie apocalypse in a miniskirt and a boob tube.
I know, she obviously just got comfy. She knew, like, you know, there was no point being at work anymore. Like, just get your comfies on and go for
literally. But you know what's even more funny is the very beginning you have a cutscene where it shows her in her apartment getting ready to break out, and she's like, it doesn't show her getting ready, but it shows her like dressing herself almost. So like she chose that wasn't like a last minute like I'm going out, oh shit, the world's falling apart, I'm in a miniskirt. It was like, oh no, zombie apocalypse, better put the miniskirt on. Like... I
love it, 'cause for me, like personally, if I was in that kind of situation, I would not be like, right, let me just find like a little short dress and like but like, no, I'm getting some fucking joggers on and like a t-shirt and I'm out. Like I wouldn't be in heels and like a vest top and a mini skirt, like, you know.
Not for Miss Valentine. She's in a boob tube and a vest and a little mini skirt.
She makes the effort and she's gonna look good, like taking things down. So.
And she still saved the day in that mini skirt and that boob tube.
Unless you're thinking about Resi 2, the films, then unfortunately she just fucks up in all those films, isn't she, old Jill?
Oh, when they try to see, this is the thing. I like it when they put them in the costume, but not when it's like a literal replica. Like it should be similar enough but different enough. Do you know what I mean? Don't literally find a blue piece of material to wrap around her boobs and then like a black shorts and be like, oh my god, Jill. Like it was just, it was interesting. But yeah, Jill. But also Claire.
Yeah, I really loved Claire in Resi, the remake of Resi 2. I was really vibing with Claire. I think it's because, like, she just got on with it, didn't she?
She did. Clara. She got on with it.
Clara got on with everything. And then her counterpart, Leon, was just pathetic. Like...
Yeah, because the canon situation, if you play the original games, is her scenario first. So she does, like, a lot of the heavy lifting in the game. Yeah, she was, like... bad bitch proper, but also I don't know what it was, but there's something about her voice actress Alison Court as well. I really just enjoyed her. Like when I was little, listening to her voice, I was like, I like her. She sounds like she's good. Like she sounds like she's hot.
I like her. She sounds nice.
She sounds really nice. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, nice voice. Yeah,
nice. But yeah, Claire as well in her little, because she was like a rebel. She had a little like jean jacket on and her ripped denim shorts. She was quite hot.
Yeah. Yeah, she rocks the little leather jacket as well, don't she? So
she does.
And she's got that like sassy ponytail that she can just like whip around, like fucking going for it.
Ponytail full of sass, and
Drives
she had this
like a Harley or whatever it is.
Yes, she's like a biker chick, and she's got this like hot, like skin tight, like lycra top thing on.
Yeah. And
I was like, wow, okay, we're really pushing the boat out. What age rating is this game?
There's not one bad looking girl in the Resi games. Let's just put it that way.
Well.
Who's right? Who?
Well, see, I'm gonna get hate for this, but I don't particularly like the way Julia Voth is the remake Jill. So remake 1.
Ooh, now, okay,
Right now, Julia Voth is a stunning woman. Like, she's fit as, like, she's really, really stunning woman. But the way they've like transposed her as Jill, like, they've obviously messed with her features slightly to make her Jill, and for me, it just doesn't work. It doesn't. No, I'm so sorry. No. No, I'm so sorry. So sorry for the inconvenience. But it's just, it does. I'm really sorry.
I just didn't do it for you.
Julia, if you're listening, I'm 100% here for you, sis, but not for
you in that. Not for that
not
face.
for you in
that.
that. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
That's really sad.
It is.
We'll move on then.
We'll move on then.
So I'm going for, and this is like a double barrel. Well, it's kind of like you and your Resi ones.
Okay.
You've not really
Resi
played
one.
much of The Witcher, but have you? You've obviously watched the program, so I guess that kind of counts. But Yennefer and Triss from The Witcher series are like very attractive characters. Yennefer's got. Go on.
Oh, there's two of them. Yeah, I thought that was her full name. Sorry, I don't play the games.
No, so you've got Yennefer Vengerberg. I always get it wrong. I can never pronounce it. You've got Yennefer, and then you've got Triss.
Okay.
So Yennefer's got like purple eyes. She's like this sort of. She smells of like gooseberries. Apparently, that's why he like chases her. She's got this like thick black hair. And then there's Triss. He's got this like flowing like red long hair, and they've just made him very like, you know, because obviously Geralt's going around trying to find her, and he's just got these two women that are like they've just made look amazing, and then the rest of the women in the game are just fucking like haggard. Like it's just they've really kind of like overdone it, you know.
Yeah.
But that's just how they do it in these games, don't they? They're like they want you to make sure that you will find no one else attractive but that one. It's like
definitely.
yeah, it's a choice. Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, it's quite similar actually, because they do something very similar in the Dragon Age games. Because I would say that my two there are Morrigan and Isabella. But what I find really funny in Dragon Age 2 is like every female and every male has the same body. So every woman you come across in the game, whether they make them fit or ugly, has the same skeleton, same physical model. So like they have like Flemeth, who's meant to be like a 3,000-year-old witch of the wilds with an old wrinkly face, but like the
sounds like
tightest.
She smokes about 70 a day.
Yes, but with the tightest body known to mankind, and it's a bit like it's literally she's like the curviest thing ever. She's got this skin tight chainmail on with a face that's like 400 years old, and I was like, this is really wrong, but there's something right about this.
And they're just like, you're gonna fuck off. And you're just like, damn girl, you've been working out.
Is it fate or chance? I can never decide.
Oh.
She's voiced by Kate Mulgrew. She's from. I mean, people who are our age might remember her from like Star Trek and stuff. I can't remember. She's the commander in Star Trek, the Next Generation, First Generation, I believe. Whatever. Yes, I can't remember her name. Whatever. Her.
But yeah.
And she's also you'll probably know her from Red, as in Orange Is the New Black, the chef, the.
Fucking hell. I actually didn't even realise that.
It's her.
That is amazing. I love Red. I love her. She's a brilliant actress.
Do you still watch that series? Is it still on?
Yeah, well, no, it ended, but like...
Okay, good.
I really enjoyed it. It got worse as it went on. Like, I think the first series and the second one were the good ones, and then it kind of just, for me, went a little bit downhill.
I stopped when they had this the riot, and I switched off.
It was too much, yeah. It ruined it with the riot.
Yeah,
I preferred it when they were all just trying to survive in prison, and you learn a few tricks of the trade, do you know what I mean? And then it all went a bit silly when they took over. Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so you've said Yennefer and Triss, and I've said Morrigan and Isabella from Dragon Age. I think they're both... Do you know why? Because they're both like good looking, but they've also got like really like seedy backstories and dark backstories, and they're like interesting characters. It's more about like finding them interesting, like almost like Geralt, like wanting to pursue them, like what's going on with your life, like why are you doing this?
Do you need fixing? Can I break you?
That's my damage as a person. This is why I try and fix everybody. Just want to help.
There we go.
Wow, this is like free therapy.
But yeah.
Anyone else that particularly struck a chord with you? I'm shocked you didn't say... I mean, I don't know about her age, but I'm shocked you didn't say Ellie. But I don't know. I don't know how old she's meant to be.
Well, she's a young'un, isn't she, really? And that's a bit, you know...
No, but I mean,
if I
like...
was younger,
we're
maybe...
Well, not part 1 Ellie, who's like still 14.
Oh no!
But I mean part 2 Ellie, obviously. Yeah, that 10-year-old. Oh, I meant part 2 Ellie. She's meant to be like 19, isn't she? 20.
Yeah, I can like respect Ellie. Like,
Okay.
she gets on with shit. Like, she don't take no shit, everything like that. But I said to you before, like, I see her as more of like, I don't know.
She reminds me of you.
I kind of get that like side of her. I'm like, she's more kind of doing her thing, you know, and I'm like here for it. 'Cause I'm like, oh, I'd probably be a bit like that. It's not so much like, oh yeah. Weirdly,
Yeah, go on.
I actually really struggled with this topic. Like, all honesty, like there wasn't. I mean, obviously we point out the like kind of obvious ones, so like your Jills, you know, Lara Crofts and stuff. But it was actually quite difficult, wasn't it, to come up with characters that were actually like attractive back then. It's different now, but back then, I don't know. I mean, obviously they were cubes, but like they still had artwork of them, you know. And yeah,
like it's the artwork that I would have thought. Like, for example, Lara Croft on the front of the PlayStation box would have been something that would have been like, whoa, what's going on there? Rather than looking at just the cubes, like, on the screen. But yeah, I feel like they all, like, they kind of like, when you think about Lara Croft and stuff like that, they kind of over-sexualize them on purpose, because gamers were predominantly, I mean, they still are predominantly male, but, like, back then it was, like,
mostly
all male, and it was, like, all kind of young male. So it was back between what... You had kids like us that were playing, but mainly it was like, I'd say like between 18 and 20-year-olds. Yeah, like adolescents playing games. And it was like they had to like go for the sexual factor to get them. So then Tomb Raider started appearing in bikinis and stuff. And Lara Croft was like appearing in nothing but like a bed sheet and a gun next to her to try and make her look sexy and stuff to get the guys to buy the game. So it's interesting how marketing has changed, actually.
Yeah, there definitely, women aren't as much like that. I mean, there's obviously scenarios where they do still sexualize them because they know it sells, you know, but like it's better than it was. Like, I recently have just been looking into playing Control because it was one of the free games and I've heard it's really good game. I played it for like literally 5 minutes and was like, I'm gonna enjoy this, like I'm gonna put it down until I've got a bit more time to properly play it. And I just liked how off the bat she just like looks like a really normal woman. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, she's just really casual, and it was really nice. Same as Ellie, like they made Ellie just a really like normal person, you know. There was nothing about that they tried to make it sexualize it at all. Even two girls having a relationship, like in previous times they would really try and like sexualize that in some way, but they just
100%. Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely been like a leap with it, and I think it's only going to get more and more realistic now, apart from like your Resi series. Like they'll always have a bit of a play on it, I think.
Yeah, I think fantasies. Like I feel like it has its place, but it's not the driving force behind the sales of the game anymore, like it probably once was. Like with Tomb Raider, that was probably like a massive push for them to be able to do that and to get everyone to pick up the games. Whereas like now there might be like a female in the game that's considered sexy in some way or like sexualized, but that's not what's making you pick up the game and buy it. It's always something you discover halfway through or like discover in the game. Like, wow, this character's got this kind of personality. It's like this. Da, 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 da. But yeah, I get you. There's a lot of like normal. It's just normal. Yeah.
Just normal people.
Normal.
Unless it's like a fantasy kind of game, then for some reason,
if it's
female
anime.
armor.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Like wow, definitely.
Wow. Yeah. The like naked chest plates and fucking blood elves that are like half naked is.
Basically porn stars walking around. It's like I find that like the only way you probably will see sexuality used in that way is probably, I guess you can say, Bayonetta in some way, because she's like meant to be this like, but then that's her character, is this like dark witch, but she's not like on the box cover like half naked. It's something you discover in the game. But I guess I would say stuff like Dead or Alive, like those kind of games, like the Tekken series.
Rumble Rose, or whatever we used to play.
Oh my god, do you remember Rumble Rose?
I've ever heard of that. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. How did I even... Was that a demo that I had on like a PS2?
It was a demo, and it was just like this mud fighting demo.
I need to find that fucking game.
You need to find it.
The jiggle physics in that were...
The jiggle physics. Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, Rumble Rose, Google it. It's basically like it's a fighting game, but it's like a mud
all female fighting game.
Mud wrestling type.
Yeah,
stupid shit.
There was like there was like cowboy girls and stuff, weren't they? And it was like, are you ready for the new sensation?
But that's the thing, though. Yeah, fighting games are very much like that, aren't they? Like, there's not one like female fighter that's not got massive tits, like while she did backflips. Like
after that whole speech, it's like, oh, sex sells. It does sell, actually. Rely.
Buy all the games.
Buy all the games with the naked people in them. It does, though, doesn't it? Especially in like fighting games, like we said, like because we did put down a few fighting characters too. Like I said, like from childhood, I remember is like Nina Williams from the Tekken series and Christy from the Tekken series and stuff. So like there is a part of that where they try and those girls were always on the front of like the game boxes and stuff. And when they did like not the game boxes, but like were always on there somewhere. There was always on the back, had their own piece or whatever. When they had do you remember Tekken Volleyball? And I think they had Dead or Alive Volleyball, and that was all about having the girl characters in their bikinis and stuff. Like, teenage me was quite happy.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if they brought out a character that just had like a hoodie on, and she had messy hair, and no one would pick her? Do you know what I mean? Like they would just be like, it's true though, wouldn't they? They wouldn't be like, why would I pick that character? Like she's not got anything exciting about her. She's a bit boring. But then you've got like,
it's the same for the male characters too. Like you don't really see a man in gaming who's like got a dad bod and just like who's a normal bloke. I mean, even Joel is like, you know, pretty ripped, isn't he? So like there's no one in them. Like you never play as someone who's a normal person. You've always got to be someone who's a bit, and that's the fun of it, I suppose, because we are normal people. I don't want to play as me. I don't want to play as like a slightly overweight person. Like I want to play as like someone who's ripped and shredded or like fit as hell.
I think it depends. Like it depends on the story. If it's going to be like a really deep story, then I wouldn't mind a bit more diversity, you know? Because it would be interesting to just play someone who looks different for once, rather than being like, oh, I'm so used to seeing a girl like this, or a guy who's ripped and who's got like a beard and dark hair or long blonde hair or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, it would be nice to play someone who is maybe a little bit heavier. Like, I think it would just kind of change how you see people, and like you'd think about them differently in the game, and it would actually have a bigger impact on the game, I think, more than we would realise, like having a more unusual looking person. So I think I hope this might be the generation for it, though. There's been a lot more different kind of like Deathloop's coming out, and there's a lot of interesting characters in that. Do you agree?
I do. No, I think it's interesting. I do agree. I think it'd be nice to see some more diversity and stuff in the games. But I do also think that it is a law that was passed in Parliament that if you're playing a spy-based game, you have to be fit. Like, can you think of one spy game, or even one game where they include a spy scenario or a sneaking stealth scenario where you're not at least shredded in some way?
Yeah.
Like, even when you think about random games, okay, like Spider-Man has a stealth section. He's couldn't get any more, you know, cut up if he tried. You've got like Tomb Raider has a lot of stealth sections. Her body is crazy. When you think of any games that are based on films like the Mission Impossibles, they're all really in good shape. Like Hitman, isn't he ripped? I've never really played. I mean,
Hitman, I guess you can't. Yeah.
Like
you got any kind of like action game, you're gonna have to play someone who's ripped. I guess it makes sense. Like you are gonna be doing some shit that's gonna make you get ripped.
And I'm here for that.
Yeah, it's nice. I guess it's nice. Like it's a change, isn't it?
And it's true. Like you want something to look at while you're playing, don't you? Whether it's real or not. I know it sounds really pathetic and really weird, but like I don't want to be looking at something that's not interesting while I'm playing. Do you know what I mean? I want something to be like, whoa, that's neat.
Yeah, because you put yourself in that position, don't you? So it's all psychological, isn't it? Like people are gonna want to play as someone, attractive, because I don't know. It's just how it is, isn't it? Everyone wants to be attractive, I guess.
Exactly. Well, fuck you, Xena.
Fuck you, Xena.
Fuck you, Xena. Right, so I think we've probably actually come quite close to the end of our time.
Yes, we've had a
little chit chat about quite a few things today.
I was looking at the timer, like trying to work it out, and like, I just honestly, as soon as I think about numbers, my brain's like, do you know what? Don't worry about it. Let's just not think about it.
It's because we spend so much time at the beginning chatting shit to each other, and then like it's still recording. And then we're like, oh wait, should we actually do this properly now? And then like half an hour's gone past, and I'm like, oh god, that like timer means nothing to me now, because I don't know when we stopped chatting shit and started the episode.
I don't think we ever stopped chatting shit.
No, the episode is us chatting shit.
It is.
And we thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Right, so who are your video game crushes? If you maybe want to let us know, and you can reach out to us on social media, which we do have. So we have Instagram at TG Breakdown Podcast and Twitter at TG Breakdown. We now have a YouTube channel, which we are very soon going to be uploading the rest of our episodes to, and that is the Game Breakdown. Am I right? TG Breakdown.
Yeah, the Game Breakdown.
The Game Breakdown. So reach out to us on one of those platforms. No death threats, please, but just what gaming character do you want to bang?
Yeah, that's all we want in life.
That's all we want. That's all we want to know. That's all we want to know. But yeah, so I guess anything else you want to add?
No, just hope everyone has a lovely Valentine's Day. Had a lovely Valentine's Day, because it'll be Monday now. If you listen to this in the morning, have a great week, have a great day, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Zena.